Saturday morning serials, chapters 1 through 15. Fly paper, penny loafers, Lucky Strike green. Flat tops, sock hops, Studebaker, Pepsi please. Ah, do you remember these? Cigar bands on your hand, your daddy's socks roll down. Sticks, no plugs, and aviator caps with flaps that button down. Movie stars on Dixie cup tops and knickers to your knees. Ah, do you remember these? The hit parade, Great Truade, the Sadie Hawkins dance. Pedal pushers, ducktail hair, and begging your pants. Howdy doody, tutti fruity, the seam up the back of her hose. Ah, do you remember those?
James Dean, he was keen, Sunday movies were taboo. The senior prom, Judy's mom, rock and roll was new. Cracker Jack Price, stars in your eyes, ask Daddy for the keys. Ah, do you remember these?
The boogeyman, lemonade stand and taking your tonsils out. Engine burn and wait your turn, and 4 foul balls you're out. Cigarette loads and secret codes and saving lucky stars. Can you remember back that far?
To boat neck shirts and fender skirts and crinoline petticoats. Mom's word and a dirty bird and a double root beer float. Moon hug caps and loud heel taps, and he's a real gone cat. Ah, do you remember that?
Dancing close, little moron jokes and cooties in her hair. Captain Midnight, Ovaltine, and the whip at the county fair. Charles Atlas course, Roy Rogers horse, and only the shadow knows. Ah, do you remember those? Gable's charm, frog in your arm, loud mufflers, bitch and woo. Going steady, Veronica and Betty, white bucks and blue suede shoes. Knock knock jokes, who's there? Dewey.
Dewey who?
Dewey. Remember these? Yes we do. Ah, do we remember these?
Ah, do you remember these? Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. I know you all know the answer to this question. Hey kids, what time is it? Yes, you remember that. We just try to ignore him. You know, when I was a kid growing up in the 50s, of course I watched Howdy Doody. I watched a lot of other television too. Remember back in those days when there were 3 channels? They were all black and white. I used to watch, in fact, I watched this show. I love that the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Hey, we should have thought of that one. Anyway, after school every day, I would run home when I wasn't running up to Don Johnson's drugstore to buy a comic book and a Green River. I was running home to watch Howdy Doody and Pinky Lee. Remember Pinky Lee? I see. Some of you are my age. But I always watched the Mickey Mouse Club. Yes. Now, guys my age, when we were that age, there was only one reason to watch the Mickey Mouse Club. Annette, yes. You're getting ahead of me. Now, I understand, unfortunately for Annette, poor Annette, the years have not been kind. Now, I know the years have not been kind. I didn't know they'd been cruel. All right, come on, Mouseketeers. You remember it. You know it. You wouldn't think that could mess up the Mickey Mouse theme, would you? You know, when we decided to do the 50s for this show, I thought about the fact that the 1950s, it was the last decade for Pleasant Lake High School, the last class graduating in 1958. And that's why you see the pictures from the yearbooks posted around the place. And I thought it'd be a great idea to get some of the 1950s cheerleaders up here to lead us in the old Pleasant Lake High School fight song. So I called 2 or 3 of them, and they all pretty much said the same thing, something along the lines of, "Are you crazy? I'm not getting up there with those guys." But we were fortunate enough to find one member of the class of 58 who volunteered to do it. Cheerleader, come on out. In fact, I often heard Buck Milholland say, "I wish John Brooks was a cheerleader instead of on my basketball team," but that's another story altogether. Come on, Spartans, you know it. If you're going to reminisce about high school back in the 50s, you really need to know this next song, which we're getting ready for, I hope. See if this reminds you of your last high school class reunion.
You gotta be kidding.
I got it right here. Tommy's selling used cars, Nancy's fixing hair, Harvey runs the grocery store and Margaret doesn't care. Jerry drives a truck for Sears and Charlotte's on the make, and Paul sells life insurance and part-time real estate.
Helen is a hostess, Frank works at the mill, Janet teaches grade school and probably always will. Bob works for the city and Jack's in lab research, and Peggy plays the organ at the Presbyterian Church. And the class of '57 had its dreams. We all thought we'd change the world with our great words and deeds. Or maybe we just thought the world would change to fit our needs. The class of '57 had its dreams.
Betty runs a trailer park, and he's on my sweat. I screwed that up already.
Just like always.
Yeah. Are you guys ready now? Betty runs a trailer park, Jan sells Tupperware, Randy's on an insane ward, and Mary's on welfare. Charlie's took a job for Ford. Joe took Freddie's wife. You know, I darn near had this thing memorized. I worked on it. I bet I sang it 50 times a day, and it's got all these different names in it. Danged if I can remember them. I got them on my guitar, and I still can't remember them. Charlotte took a millionaire, and Freddie took his wife.
I can't follow that. John is big in cattle, Ray is deep in debt. Where Mavis finally found out is anybody's bed. Linda married Willie, Pam she married me, and a part of all of us is just part of history.
And the class of '57 had its dreams, but living life from day to day is never as it seems. Life gets complicated when you get past 18. The class of '57 had its dreams. Oh, the class of '57 had its dreams. Josh, can you start up my song?
Well, the tall, dark stranger there? Maverick is the name. Riding the trail to who knows where. Luck is his companion. Gambling is his game.
You guys all remember that, right? There was a whole bunch of things along those lines. You had Rawhide, you had Gunsmoke. Then they started getting into some adventure shows, and Disney came up with one called Davy Crockett. Y'all remember that? Yeah. Well, they started that up on the 14th of December in 1954, and it was 5 shows that they showed. The last one aired on the 14th of December of '55. And we're going to play some, or do a tribute to that. We're going to do the theme song of The Ballad of Davy Crockett.
thought I was just out here. Hey, I'm kind of said that I'm a little ornery at times, people have told me. And I want to tell you about a Christmas one year. I had a friend who lives over by South Bend, and I buy his kids a Christmas present. Well, the younger one of them, I like it to be noisy, so I bought him a drum set, you know, just for the parents, really. And so I gave it to him, and a couple of months later, I went back over to do a visit. And boy, when I came in the door, Rusty come running out to me and says, "Uncle Eric, that was the greatest present I ever got." And I went, "Oh, good. Do you play it?" "Oh, I don't play it." He says, "Mom gives me $1 every day to not play it in the afternoon, and Dad gives me $5 a week to not play it in the evening."
I came to Pleasant Lake in 1955 with missionary work. And you know, I don't believe I've gained an inch. I get to Pleasant Lake and I find out that Rita Stackhouse had a Baptist ladies' aid at her house one evening. And the girls were having a very good time. Ori came home just a little bit inebriated. He'd had a beer or two. And one of Rita's girlfriends said, "Ori Stackhouse, you're a disgrace." He looked up and he said, "But you're ugly and I'll be sober in the morning." "Hey, Ma, what's for supper?" "Boy, what you cooked last night, the dogs wouldn't even eat."
How long do you think we'll have to stand here before they get the picture?
I don't know.
You know, if you want the script, here it is. But
No, I don't need the script.
okay, you know, my mother was right about you. She said I should have married Bob Smith instead, and so now I've gone to a lawyer to try to figure out how to undo this whole mess. He's asked me about your assets, and I said his assets in front of the TV all day long.
Why, you old hag.
You idiot! The song is called "This Old House."
Ain't gonna
Well, I remember back in the 50s, TV shows we used to watch and stuff we used to do, and I'd always, during the 50s, I was always a really big fan of my man Mitch. No, not that one, not that one, not that one. This one.
Mitch Miller had some of the greatest hits in the 50s, and on the nights of the shows, he would always invite everybody to sing along. So this evening, please sing along with Mitch as we sing one of his top songs, The Yellow Rose of Texas.
Well, you know, I was born not long after World War II, and I grew up in the 50s, which of course makes me a baby boomer. Now, for you younger folks out there, you know about baby boomers. We're the folks who are going to take up all the Social Security money you've been paying in, and there won't be any left for you. To which I say, thanks. But, you know, us baby boomers are getting on in years, and the other day I had one of those kind of baby boomer senior days that, see if you can relate to. So I decided one last time I'm going to water the garden. So I get the hoses out of the garage, and I'm going out to the garden. The car's sitting in the driveway. I think, well, that thing could use a wash. So I'll go back in to get the bucket. And on the little table by the door is the mail I got a couple hours ago that I forgot about. I better go through there and see if there's any bills. I'm throwing away the trash, and the trash can, that's full. I better. Well, no, I'm going to go in the house. I'm going to get my checkbook and pay these bills. And I find out there's only one check left. And there's my car keys. I didn't know where those had gone. There's only one check left, so I thought, well, there's more checks downstairs in the desk. I go down there, and sitting on the desk is a half a can of Coke. But I don't put there when, I don't know. I'm going to put that back in the fridge, but I turn around, and there's this vase with flowers in it. You really could use some water. And there are my reading glasses. I didn't know where those had gone either. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to get these flowers watered. Take that up to the sink, and next to the sink is a TV remote. I didn't know how that got there either. But I'm going to water these flowers first. Then I spill the water, and I mop it up. And then I get up, and I'm thinking, what was I going to do in the first place? So at the end of the day, the garden's not watered, the car's not washed. There's a half a can of Coke sitting someplace. There's one check. The bills aren't paid. Can't find my keys. Can't find my glasses. Can't find the remote. And I'm worn out because I had a busy day.
I was under the mistaken impression that you all liked jokes, but now after that I guess I I see. Oh, yeah, sure they do. So somebody's cut jokes down to one per half for me, so I'm half bitter over that. But I'm going to tell you the best one that I've got for this half. There was a teacher that had given an assignment to her students to go home and talk to their parents about something with a moral at the end of the story, kind of a life lesson to it. So, sure enough, the next day, one by one, the kids come back in and they file in with stories about a penny saved is a penny earned, and don't cry over spilt milk and all of that, until they get down to the last student, and little Janie, she says, well, my dad told me a story about my mom, who was a Marine pilot in Desert Storm. Her plane was shot down over enemy territory, and all she had was a flask of whiskey, a pistol, and a knife. As the plane was going down, she bailed out, drank the flask of whiskey on the way down, so that when it broke, that she wouldn't lose any whiskey. When she landed, she was in the middle of 20 Iraqi soldiers. She shot the first 15 until she ran out of ammunition, stabbed the next 4 until her knife broke, killed the last one with her bare hands. And the teacher said, oh my gosh, that's horrible. So did your dad tell you the moral of the story? She says, well, yeah, Dad said don't mess with Mom when she's been drinking. So I told you that story to tell you this story, which is actually a true story about me when I was at school in this building. Similar situation, kind of freaky, but one of our teachers had said we needed to raise money for a charity, and so she wanted us to all go home, think about a business that we could start, and the profits from that business would go to the charity. So a couple weeks go by, and the first student comes in and says, well, I set up a lemonade stand, and here's my $30 from selling lemonade. The teacher said, that's fantastic. How did you do it? She said, well, I appealed to their civic sense of, protecting the whatever the charity was. Next one comes in and says, well, I developed a business around walking dogs. Here's my $45. Teacher said, well, that's fantastic. What did you do? And he says, well, I noticed that there was a need in the market that wasn't being filled, and blah, blah, blah. Came to me, and I came up to the teacher, and she says, how'd you do? And I said, here's $2,177. She says, how'd you do that? And I said, well, selling toothbrushes. She said, how in the world could anybody make that kind of money selling toothbrushes? And I said, well, it's real simple. I found the busiest street in town, and I gave away free snacks. Everyone that ate it said, this tastes like dog crap. And I said, it is. Do you want to buy a toothbrush?
In 1955, Tennessee Ernie Ford had a smash hit with the following song. To perform that song, or to recreate that song, is a man who once drove through Tennessee, Galen Anspaugh.
Some people say a man is made out of mud. Poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bone, with a mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 ton, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 ton of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 ton, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. Picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 ton of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 ton. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 ton, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Well, we made it through that one. There were a lot of great country and folk songs in the 50s as well, and we're going to try to do a little medley of them for you, give Walt a chance to redeem himself. You remember these.
I'll help you, Walt.
Well, I'm supposed to have a lot more help up here, too.
Drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed, I'm a roving cowboy, riding all day long. Tumbleweed around me sing their lonely song. Life underneath the prairie moon, I ride alone and sing this tune. See them tumbling down, pledging their love to the ground. Lonely but free I'll be found, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed. Cares of the past are behind, knowing not where I'll find, just where the trail will wind, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed. I know night is gone, that a new world's born at dawn. I'll keep rolling along, deep in my heart is a song. Here on the range I belong, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed.
This next one, we just recruited Ted to come in and help us sing this.
Like 5 minutes ago.
I was afraid after he heard how I goof up that he might not want to do this. He, hang down your head, Tom Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die. Remember on the mountain, there I took her life. Remember on the mountain, I stabbed her with my knife. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die. Poor boy, you're bound to die. This was a George Jones and Melba Montgomery. For any of you people that has lived as long as I have might remember this song. Probably not very many of you will. Oh, we both said our goodbyes long ago, never thinking we'd miss each other so. All the memories we can't live behind. Oh, we must have been out of our minds.
I thought I loved another, not you.
How foolish I felt the same way too. Oh, they both turned out to be the wrong kind. Oh, we must have been out of our minds. Let's forgive and forget the past we've known, and reap together the wild seeds we've sown. Surely they can forgive us in time, that we must have been out of our minds.
I thought I loved another, not you.
How foolish I felt the same way too. But they both turned out to be the wrong kind. Oh, we must have been out of our minds. Oh, we must have been out of our minds.
Well, I'm very excited about introducing this next number. For years now, Josh Ayers has been running the sound system for us and doing a great job. And for years, his grandfather, Walt Silberg, has been encouraging him to get up here and display his talents. And he's always said no until this year. We badgered him into it. Josh, come on out. And I want you to know that I am Josh's great uncle. Not his average uncle, mind you. His great. Josh Ayers.
You know, as nervous as I was to do this, I'm just glad they didn't ask me to do this in drag, so. Way down old Kentucky, there's a man mighty lucky by the way he makes a guitar moan. Hanging around, singing around the country store, picking like a chicken, picking up corn. Every gal in the county gathers all around him 'cause he's got rhythm in his bones. The feet start scooting in a shuffling drag. When they hear the rhythm of the guitar rag, it gets a moaning tone, makes a grumble and groan. He can make a jackrabbit chase a hound. He can make a deacon lay the good book down. While all the fat and the skinny does a little shimmy, the hips start to wiggle and wag. The feet start scooting in a shuffle and drag when they hear the rhythm of the guitar rag. It gets a moaning tone, makes a grumble and groan. He can make a jackrabbit chase a hound. He can make a deacon lay the good book down. While all the fat and the skinny does a little shimmy, the hips start to wiggle and wag. The feet start scooting in a shuffle and drag when they hear the rhythm of the guitar rag. The feet start scooting in a shuffle and drag when they hear the rhythm of the guitar rag.
How about that? I think we ought to keep him around. What do you think? Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I got to tell you, I went to the gym this morning. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, they got a new machine in. And by golly, I was on it for about a half hour, and then I started feeling a little sick. But you know, it is a great machine. It's got everything I need. It's got Mars bars, Snickers, potato chips, candy. They got it all.
How many knew that Abe Thalls had a TV service company? Anybody know that Abe had it? Anyway, Elton calls him a few days ago, in fact, last winter. And he said, Abe, my television won't turn on. And Abe said, well, it's going to be a few days before we can get there because of this blizzard. And Elton says, a little bit disgruntled, he said, well, what am I going to do? I want my TV fixed today. The power's off.
You all having a good time tonight? Well, we've said for a lot of years that the more fun we have up here, the more fun you'll have out there. I don't know. We'll see. But this group of guys that we have back here are just absolutely amazing. Some of the funnest people I've ever been around in my life. Yeah. Okay. All right. They aren't that good. But we have had so many good times together. You guys remember like that one time that we took all the outhouses out to Ron Parker's and dumped them over in his yard? Never happened. Well, they say it never happened. I think that's a load of crap. I was there. There was that other time that they loaded the show up and took us up to New York. We got to play Broadway with the Minstrel. Never happened. Pretty sure it did. I mean, I was there. You guys remember, don't you? So these are the things that I remember. We'll see what Ron Smith can remember.
1959, I met a young lady. She's seated on the front row, and I'd like to dedicate this song to her. January to December, we'll have moments to remember. The New Year's Eve, we did the town. The day we tore the goalpost down. We will have these moments to remember. The quiet walks, the noisy fun, the ballroom prize we almost won. We will have these moments to remember. Though summer turns to winter and the present disappears, the laughter we were glad to share will echo through the years, when other nights and other days will find us gone our separate ways. We will have these moments to remember. Though summer turns to winter and the present disappears, the laughter we were glad to share will echo through the years, when other nights and other days will find us gone our separate ways. We will have these moments to remember.
You know, every year we get together and we try to decide what songs we're going to use. There's always a lot we can choose from. We throw a lot of them out. And every year when we're looking at songs to use, there's always one song that I really, really like and everybody else hates. And being the director of the show, we use that song anyway. It's just... And this one's coming up here. Now this one, it's from a Broadway musical called The Pajama Game. It's set in a pajama factory in New York, and of course if you set a musical in Pajama Factory today, it'd have to be in China, but in Pajama Factory in New York, where there's labor trouble, and the young woman representing the workers fights with the boss, this guy. Well, this, of course, being a Broadway musical, they fall in love. And they want to go out to a nightclub someplace, but they can't be seen together in public. But she knows a place. You remember.
I know the dark
secluded place, a place where no one knows your face. A glass of wine, a fast embrace. It's called Hernando's Hideaway. Ole, all you see are silhouettes, and all you hear are castanets, and no one cares how late it gets. Not at Hernando's Hideaway. Ole. At the Golden Finger Bowl or any place you go, you'll meet your Uncle Max and everyone you know. If we go to the spot that I am thinking of, you will be free to gaze at me and talk of love. Just knock 3 times and whisper low that you and I were sent by Joe. Then strike a match and you will know you're in Hernando's Hideaway. Ole.
And now, hey kids, what time is it?
Start
Whew, that was fun. Hey, in about 2004, Rolling Stone magazine came out with an article named Buddy Holly is the 13th among 50 of the top greatest artists of all times. And Buddy Holly started out early on in about 1956, and he was a lead-in act for Elvis Presley. Soon after that, he developed the rockabilly style and went on to soon form a band, and they were later on called the Crickets. And he went along, like I say, for about 3.5 years. It's kind of amazing for that short of a career to be like that. But in January of '59, he went on a tour for about 3 weeks, and it was a Midwest thing, and they were on a bus that was cold and had poor maintenance on it. And he elected to charter a plane and fly to the next stop so that he could get some rest. Well, the plane crashed right after takeoff, and not only did it killed everybody on board. Not only did it kill Buddy Holly, it killed J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, and it killed Richie Valens. The ironic thing is Waylon Jennings and Tommy Alsop were supposed to be on that flight, and they traded out to these other guys. Right now, we've got RP3 coming on to do Buddy Holly.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Will you give me all your loving and your turtle doving, all your hugs and kisses and your money too? Well, hell, you know you love me, baby. Still, you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Hello, everybody. Are you having a good time tonight? I'm going to sing you a couple Buddy Holly songs here. I want you to sing along as loud as you can if you know it. Let's make Buddy proud. If you feel like getting up dancing or tapping your toe, go ahead and do it. Here we go. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, when Cupid shot his dart, he shot it at your heart. So if we ever part, then I'll leave you. You sit and hold me and you tell me boldly that someday, well, I'll be through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day. Woo-hoo, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. Thank you. If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I love you, Peggy Sue. How you doing back there? Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I love you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Well, I love you, girl, and I love you, Peggy Sue. Here she comes, Miss Peggy Sue. And also right behind him, Mr. Buddy Holly. Peggy Sue. I love you, Sue, Peggy Sue. Pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I want you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with the love so rare and true. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I want you, Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, girl, and I want you, Peggy Sue. How many of you want to hear Buddy sing with me? My love, all of my kisses, you don't know what you've been a missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. All of my life I've been waiting, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you are meant for me. The stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart a-calling. A little bit of love, it makes everything alright. Well, I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kisses, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. We see you, Abe. All of my life I've been waiting, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. The stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart a-calling. A little bit of love that makes everything alright. Well, I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kisses, you don't know what you've been a-missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you were meant for me. Thank you, everybody.
Boy, it's tough following those guys. I told this story years ago, and I still like it. I still like it. The old Padre one Sunday morning had to break in 2 new altar boys. And he said to the boys, now he said, when I sing the angels lit the candles, you just come out and light the candles and you're done for the day. So he gets to that point in his service where he sings, and the angels lit the candles. Nothing happened. He thought that was strange. He looked around. Well, maybe they didn't hear me. So, and the angels lit the candles. Nothing happened. So he decided, I'm going to let one last blast out, and I'll see if the boys come out. And the angels lit the candles. Little voice come back, and the cat peed on the matches.
Even a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while. That was a nice one, though. Tonight is a fantastic show, and I've told you before, we have a lot more fun putting this on than you do watching it, but tonight I'm not so sure that you aren't having more fun than we are. Fun show. It's the best show we've had since last night's walkthrough. But there is one noticeable absence tonight, and I have to give a shout out to this absence. There's a very dear friend of the club and a very dear friend of mine that is unable to be in the show tonight, but he is in the audience tonight. And after about 29 years, a slight illness has prevented my friend Abe Thalls from being in the program. So let's all acknowledge Abe and how much we miss him. He's not that good, all right? So you'll be back next year, Abe. But I do have a quick story I wanted to tell about him. He was at church service, and the preacher was talking about forgiveness of enemies, and he was just beating the dead horse about, you got to forgive your enemies, and he finally came to the point in the service where he says, show me your hands if you've been able to forgive all your enemies. About 2/3 of the congregation raised their hands, and the preacher was quite discouraged because he'd been on this topic for a long time. So he hit it again, and he said, now tell me how many of you have been able to forgive your enemies? And this time, every hand went up except one. And it was Abe. So the preacher calls him down the front, and he says, now, I've been preaching about forgiving your enemies. Are you going to tell me that at 80 years old, you have no enemies? And Abe says, I got no enemies. And the preacher says, in your entire 80 years, you have never made an enemy. 82. 82 years. Abe says, I never said I haven't made any enemies. I just said I outlived all of them. So with that, thank you, Abe. We'll see you next year. So the other person that I want to, it's in the script, Elton. Just relax. I want to bring a special attention to the director of our program, which is Elton Powers. That's a striking resemblance, isn't it? It's like Elton does a really nice show, would you say? Okay. He does really do a nice job, but it has become kind of almost a burden for all of us that put this show on because everything has to be exactly right. And it has been, well, it makes me nervous. I mean, I get as nervous as Elton would be at a Republican convention. Most of us back here sweat like we were Ron Parker at a spelling bee. And we have to deal with all the drama about, I don't know my lines and everything else. So Elton has almost become our Oprah or our Dr. Phil or something. So I want to give special recognition to Elton for having become a therapist to us. So let's all join in thanking Elton for being our therapist. Actually, there is something else I thought he could do, but we'll just forget it.
Yeah. So, are you all enjoying Kevin in his last show? Well, you probably remember, of course, that the 1956 Olympic Games were held in Australia. You remember that, right? We're doing a tribute now to those long ago Olympians. Yes, and we're setting up the Olympic pool behind me here. This must be seen to be believed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pleasant Lake Senior Synchronized Olympic Swim Team.
night, David. Good night, Chet.
Where else but Pleasant Lake could you get a bunch of hill jacks like that? Yeah, I understand. You know, I have an intro for a song now, and after that, I'm not even sure I can remember it. But let's look back. We're, I think, in the 50s now, and so the 50s saw a lot of changes if you happen to have been born then, which I wasn't, you know, by a long shot. But so we had the interstate system that came into existence. We had the Pleasant Lake schools that merged with the MSD of Steuben County during the 50s. And we also had Buddy Holly and Elvis that brought a little thing called rock and roll, which I think was just another thing for parents to yell at their kids for. So I got thinking about this, that I think Elvis and the Pleasant Lake Minstrel have some things in common. So bear with me here. Elvis was a little short on talent, and we have Shorty Mortiff. And Elvis could dance across the stage, and we have some old people that can barely get across the stage. But in the end, there is one common thing between them. When they died, they both died on the throne. Ladies and gentlemen, the King.
I don't know how anybody follows any of these acts. In 1956, Elvis had his first #1 hit, and that hit was Heartbreak Hotel. So we'll try to recreate that. Matter of fact, the first time that we did Elvis was in 1994. And Elvis does live because I've been trying to kill him off every year and they won't let me do it. Let's see. Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. It's down at the end of Lonely Street, it's Heartbreak Hotel. You make me so lonely, baby, I get so lonely. I get so lonely, I could die. And although it's always crowded, you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry with their gloom. You make me so lonely, baby, I get so lonely. I get so lonely, I could die. Well, the bellhop's tears keep flowing, the desk clerk's dressed in black. They've been so long on Lonely Street, ain't ever looking back. You make me so lonely, baby, I get so lonely. I get so lonely, I could die. Go for it, Theo. Hey, now if your baby leaves you, you got a tale to tell. Just take a walk down Lonely Street to Heartbreak Hotel. You make me so lonely, baby, I get so lonely. I get so lonely, I die. Tel-All's house, everybody. And his wingman, Walt Silver. Slow this down a little bit. Later on, 1956, Elvis had a slow song that he did, and so we're going to do that now. So grab your sweetheart and lay back and relax and hopefully enjoy this one. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong and will never part. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
This next song will be a tribute to Patsy Cline. We have two lovely girls from Hamilton High School, Jade and Jenna. Girls, you're on.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. This next song is actually a tribute to the Spaniels now. This is to our little niece, Abby. This is her lullaby. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Babe, I just can't treat you right. I hate to leave you, baby. Don't mean maybe, because I love you so. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night. Now my mother and my father might hear if I stay too long. One kiss and we'll part and I'll be going. You know I hate to see you go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, good night, sweetheart, good night.
Aren't they good? They'll be back with us next year, unlike Kevin.
What about me?
You're back. RP3 is back next year, too. Well, the 1950s is sometimes thought of or talked about as being a fairly colorless era. I don't know why that is. The black and white TV, I don't know. But that's not true. There were a lot of colorful characters in the 50s, and there were a lot of colorful songs. And in fact, there were a number of songs that mentioned specific colors in them. You remember these.
He wears tan shoes with pink shoelaces, a polka dot vest, and man, oh man. Tan shoes with pink shoelaces, and a big Panama with a purple headband. Now he takes me deep sea fishing in a submarine. We go to drive-in movies in a limousine. He's got a whirly birdie and a 12-foot yacht, but that's not all that he's got. He's got tan shoes with pink shoelaces, a polka dot vest, and man, oh man. Tan shoes with pink shoelaces, and a big Panama with a purple headband.
Well, I saw a thing coming out of the sky. It had a one long horn and one big eye. I commenced to shaking and I said, ooh-wee, it looks like a purple people eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me. It sure does. the dance. Have a white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all alone in romance.
Well, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Hey, you can do anything, lay off of my blue suede shoes. Well, you can knock me down, step on my face, slander my name all over the place. Do anything that you want to do, but oh, honey, lay off of them shoes, but don't you step on them blue suede shoes. You can do anything, lay off of them blue suede shoes.
She was afraid to come out of the locker. She was as nervous as she could be. She was afraid to come out of the locker. She was afraid that somebody would see. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, so in the water she wanted to stay. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, so in the water she wanted to stay.
I didn't write that part. Yeah. Well, you know, I have some words of wisdom and advice for my fellow aging baby boomers. Don't try to hold on to that youth that's gone. It doesn't work. People my age should not be getting tattoos. If you try to keep up with the young folks today, you just look silly, you know. A nose ring and bifocals just doesn't, it's not a good image. A pierced tongue with dentures is just not going to get it. Ladies, a bare midriff and a belly button ring with the gallbladder scar. No. Inline skates with a walker is not. And above all, avoid a thong and Depends.
You guys know how the Lockwoods like to vacation in southern western United States. Well, their last time out to Arizona, Lonnie had a friend up north in the country, or the state, that she wanted to go see. So she took off on her own one day to go up and visit them. And it was a long and silent drive up there. And she visited her friend. And on the way back, she spotted a Navajo woman alongside of the road. So she pulled over and asked her if she wanted to ride. And the Navajo lady just kind of nodded her head in appreciation and got in. And they went along. Lonnie was trying to keep some conversation, a little small talk, you know. Wasn't getting anything out of her. She was just intently looking around at everything, checking every detail out. And after a little while, she looks down, she spies something on the seat. She goes, "What in bag?" And the lady goes, "Oh, that's," and Lonnie says, "That's a bottle of wine." She says, "I got it for my husband." And the Navajo woman thought for a little bit, and then in an elderly, wisdomly way, she says, "Good trade."
Well, folks, we have done it. We've come to the end of our show. It's going to be time to say goodnight. Or,
Right,
as
David.
they,
Good night.
or as they said back in the 50s, can we do that again?
That's it.
Close enough. Or as Roy and Dale would have put it,
Trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails.
We want to take this time right now to thank a lot of people. First of all, the Pleasant Lake Fire Department wants to thank everybody for their meal tonight. They had a sold-out meal, so it was fantastic for them. We want to give a special thanks to Mark Kays and the Trine University Jazz Band, Trent Lewis from the 101 Network, who's taping our show. We want to thank our swim team, Gary Hutchins, Mike Davis, Bill Peeney, Ralph Googler, Bob and Carolyn Miser for the concessions, Marcus Miller on the lights, Josh and Micah Ayers for our sound system, Mike Davis, our monitor man. Thanks to our band, Ted Alshouse on the electric guitar, sweetheart of the Pleasant Lake Lions Club, Kathy Moore, our pass-through guy, Max Favorite, our Pleasant Lake cheerleader, John Brooks, and our Hernando's Hideaway Tango lady, Mickey Anspaugh. Then our circle of singers, Lee Courtwright, Jerry Trish, Denny Ramsey, Larry Jack, Dick Dodge, Ken Parker, Dee Anstedt, Shorty Mordoff, Walt Silberg, Chip Falk, Galen Ansbaugh, Dave Harpham, Ron Smith, Ron Parker III, and the girls from Hamilton, Jade and Jenna. Our N-men, Kevin Stoy, Ron Parker, Eric Ansbaugh. Our program director, Elton Powers. I do want to thank my brother for loaning me his shirt tonight, and I am Neil Lockwood. And most of all, we want to thank you for the support that you've given us all year long and for coming here tonight and enjoying the program. Thank you.
Sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails.
about the moonlight on the Wabash. Then I long for my Indiana home. Be kind to your web-footed friends, or a duck may be somebody's mother. You may think that this is the end, and it's not.
What?
Three cheers for dear Cleveland High. We'll never leave you, always stand by. Fight to the finish, never give in. We're here to help you boys to win. We never stagger, we never fall. Come on now, boys, hang on to that ball. We're rough and we're tough and we know our stuff. So three cheers for P-Leg High. Rah, rah, rah.
For those of you that's had bid on the private auction, we're going to take care of that right now.